Okay, are we live now? There were some problems with the stream. I couldn't get it working. Is there anybody online? I see that there are 12 people, and I'm really glad about that. Hi, Kashmedi. Sorry about the bit of a technical problem. I don't know why the stream wouldn't go live when I pressed it. Actually, this is not the live that I was advertising earlier, and there was something wrong. There was something wrong about the stream. I don't know which stream is on now. If you see only, do you see a picture at all?
No.
There are 18 people online, but I don't think you can see the picture. Please let me know if you see the picture. Yes, fine, says here. All right, you can see the picture because this is not the same URL that I got earlier. This is a bit annoying. I don't know what, there's something wrong, or I'm screwed up something. But well, all right. Let's don't worry about that. And all right, I know. I think that was now we got 16, but that live is no okay. This is a second live. Yeah, the first one didn't work out. All right, thanks you. 28 people here. Good to hear that it works well. So let's see who we have here. We have somebody from South Carolina. We have people from France. We have people from Italia. We have from Canada, from Belgium. Really great that you're here, and from Norway, India, California, Austria, Holland. That's great. Great to see from so many different places. And as usual, when I do these live streams, that you can ask questions about Olympus, about photography, all about anything. But I'm not sure I'm gonna ask or answer about if you have questions about anything. But let's see. It depends on the question. And there's also some news. I will post a closed Facebook group that is for my subscribers, so that I have more easily I can answer your questions, and you could post some pictures to be seen for the group, for the subscribers. Of course, you can join the group without being a subscribers, but please join the group in Facebook. There's a link in the chat box, so you can join the group. And I will, after this live stream, I will let you into the group, and we can start discussing Olympus and photography in a closed group, which is in conjunction with my channel. So please. And Peter Calloward is asking, do we know an approximate price for the upcoming 150 to 400 millimeter zoom? Unfortunately, we don't, but I suspect it's going to be quite expensive. I think it's going to be the most expensive Olympus or M.Zuiko lens so far. I think the 300 millimeter f4 was around $3,000/euros. So we are in that price range, I think. But I've been testing actually the long lenses lately, and I'm really excited about to test that lens. But it won't be this year. It will be next spring or next summer sometime to be able to test that lens. But it's going to be a very, very interesting lens. Yeah, Peter, you're welcome. And if you have any questions, please do ask them. And I'm sorry about the hassle with the first stream. There was 30 people there already in that stream, and now there is 39 people on this stream. This is really great. And also I mentioned all right, let's see. Lately, after using A7 III, that's a Sony. I feel M1 is really lacking. I don't think it's amazing, but do you think it's on par with the competition? Well, the M1 Mark II just got got a new firmware, and I think it is in in line or on pair with the competition. I haven't tested the Sony, so I can't really say, but and I have had no problems with the AF, especially with the new firmware 3.1 is what it is actually now for the Mark II. But I really cannot say if the A7 III compares with the M1 Mark II. And hi Lumix OMD, I like your nick. You're from Germany. Will there be a Pen F Mark II? I think there will not, but I'm not really sure. But I think there won't be a new pen camera anymore. And George asking me if the 60mm 2.8 is great for macro. I think it is. It's a good lens for macro, and it's also a very good lens for portraits and shooting like that, and for other types of product shots other than macro also. And what I like about it is that it's quite small. It feels a bit plasticky, but it's very durable and it's weather sealed. So in that sense, it's a really good lens. And Olympus has another lens that's a 30mm f3.5, which is kind of a budget version. And I've tested it, and it's actually a pretty good all-around lens and it also worked as a standard lens. It's not really fast, but it's surprisingly good quality also. But that lens is not weather sealed, so it's not as good as the 60mm. And then if you want to have another macro options, then you could use the extension tubes, because those are really inexpensive, and you can try macro photography without buying a new lens first. And then if you feel that macro is something that you want to do, then the 60mm might be a good option. But you might want to try the what do you call the extension tubes first. That was for George about macro. All right, Adrian Condon, good evening from London, you says. Good evening from Helsinki. Thanks for following me from London. And I'm good that you get the image and sound now, because the first stream, there was something wrong with it. And Sony AF, yeah, I know that Sony AF is really good, but I tried the M1 Mark II with birds. There's a video about it, actually, when I tested the 300mm f4 lens, and I didn't have any problems. All right, let's see. We haven't seen any big new cameras in the last 2 years. No, did they follow Canon? I don't think Olympus is in a crisis. They just introduced in January the M1X, and now they gave us the really good firmware for M1 Mark II. And there are rumors that there are going to be cameras in the fall, but we'll see what it is, if there is one. I don't think it's in crisis, and I think it's a good thing that Olympus sticks with the Micro Four Thirds. It's a good system, in my opinion, and I don't think they're going to follow Panasonic with the L mount. Well, Panasonic made its move, and they have the S1 series, and those are good cameras, but Micro Four Thirds is a good system, in my opinion. What about if Olympus eventually bring out a full frame camera? The knowledge that, or the information that we have now, I don't think they will. But you never know what happens in 10 years. We never know. But for now, I don't think they will in the near future. Hello, Jose, from Puerto Rico. All right. Let's see if Fungiman has answered some questions about... Yeah, thanks, Fungiman. Again, you're answering the questions. Let's see, Jim Jones from Kansas. Hello, Jim. Hi from Moscow, Konstantin Aksenov. Thanks for being here. Annette Chivoli from Virginia. Hello, Virginia. And let's see, Thomas Lowell says that he has EM1 2 with 3 but still using back button focus, and should go to... Well, it depends on your shooting style. If you have no problems the way you're doing it now, don't change anything. But you might want to try and see how you like it. I personally like the ability to fine tune or go straight to the manual focus with the new firmware, where you have CAF plus MF. But you can turn it off if you don't like it and use it as you were used to using it. Adrian Condon is talking about the macro extension tubes. And I know, yes, there are some problems getting them, but Olympus does not have them as M.Zuiko brand. There's some other brands. I think I have Kenko. I will write them down here in the... Oops, wrong. Let's see. Kenko extension tubes. And let's see. Hello, Vienna. Then John Jose de Leon asked, have you made big prints from your... No, I haven't really made any prints for many years. All my pictures, when I deliver them, then I deliver them digitally. So I haven't made any big prints. So sorry, no really answer on that. Yes, Willie Jar Nilsson is saying that he has his fourth lens hood on his 40 to 50 millimeter or 40 to 150 millimeter lens, and I know the construction is not very good, and I also have to have replaced the lens hood on my 40 to 150 millimeter lens, and I think if there is going to be a Mark II version of that lens, I think they will change it, because the 300 millimeter f4 has a similar construction, but it's a bit different so that it's more durable. It doesn't break that as easily as the one in 40 to 150 millimeter lens. So I think they will, yes. Hello, Cantaria, Spain. Yes, I use Lightroom almost 100%. I very seldom use Photoshop, for example, or Camera Raw at all. Actually, I don't use Camera Raw at all, because if I want to use Photoshop, I usually go to Lightroom and edit there, and then if I need to use Photoshop, then I will use the edit in Photoshop mode in Lightroom, or choose it from the menu system. So for me, Photoshop is like a plugin for Lightroom. Jim Jones asks about the 34 megapixel sensor being developed for Micro Four Thirds. To be honest, I don't know. I have heard the rumors, and well, if they can make it really good and put all those megapixels in that Micro Four sensor, why not? But I wouldn't do it in the cost of getting more noise. I think the 20 megapixel sensor is plenty of megapixels, at least for me. But of course, if we need more, then the 34 megapixel or the 34 megapixels sensor could be a good option. But it might introduce some noise. But if they can get some new technology, then why not? All right, from Paris. I'm 3 days. I'll be in Tanzania. Oh, so you're going? If Daniela is going to a safari, I would say that take good care of your gear, and if you are in a safari or some dusty conditions, be sure to be careful when changing your lens on your camera. And you have and there's plenty of room. And you got pretty good coverage if you have a 12 to 100 millimeter and 70 to 300. And then advice is that take lots and lots of pictures, and also have a good trip. I hope you get really great images. Let's see if I have checked out in softwares. Actually, I have not. So that I maybe should do to test on different software, because I've heard that there might be some better softwares than Lightroom in image quality wise. But I like Lightroom workflow thing, that it's a database of my images also, and the image quality has been good enough for me, so I don't really need any better image quality. But of course, it could be something that should be tested, and because sometimes I might need some better quality. And if the quality difference is really big, then why not using something else? As a novice photographer, should I shoot in RAW or JPEG? Aili Aoshi, if you don't want to do any post-processing, then I would choose JPEG. But in the long run, you should start using also the RAW images or shooting RAW, because there's a lot more room for and color correction in RAW than JPEG. It all depends on that. Now, what am I expect? Now the comments are going really fast. What are my expectations of the Om3 M1 Mark III? To be honest, right now I don't have any expectations for that. Of course, there are some things that could be better, like the M1 Mark II does not have my sets in the menu system, and it doesn't have 4K 60p and things like that. That might be, and to be honest, a new sensor would be great. But all of these things are something that I would like to have. I have no knowledge what's going to be there. All right, let's see. Sorry, I have to leave now. No, all right, Peter. Thanks for being here. Will there be a transcript of the Q&A? Yeah, there will be. Now treat it like a baby. This is going so fast. We got 85 people here. This is really great. I have my lens on. Let's see. Do you think 12 to 15 mm is still available walk around lens today in a smaller body? I think the 12 to 50 mm is actually quite good lens. I tested it last summer, but I haven't tested it since, and I think it's good. Only problem, of course, it's not very fast, but I like the electronic zoom if you do some video also there. But for otherwise, I think I don't really like the electronic zoom when doing photography. It's not that precise, but I think it is, and I've no way of knowing if they are making a Mark II version for that lens. Well, thanks, Mauricio Rocco. How usable is the handheld high-res shot on the M1X? It is very usable, and of course there are limitations of the subject. If there's a lot of moving subjects, then it's not a good idea to use it, because it takes several images and combines them in camera, and the actual time that the image is taken is a bit different from each other. And if there is moving object, there will be some weird things if there's a lot of moving things, but otherwise it's totally fine. It works really nice. I am the only one here who come to Olympus with the underwater kit for travel photography. How many new underwater stuff? To be honest, I'm not really familiar with the underwater casings that Olympus has. It's actually quite big lineup that they have, and that could be something interesting to test. I need to figure out if I can get a hold of the underwater gear for testing. I'm not, really a scuba diver, but maybe I could do some other stuff with the camera and just put it under the water and take some images, or maybe go to a pool and do some underwater portraits. But we'll see what we can do with that. It's a good idea. I need to figure out that how to get hold of the underwater things. But are you, Georg Grau, happy with the results? Bjorn Eriksson is asking for a best JPEG settings or recipe, and first, exposure spot on correctly so that you have the most information on that the sensor can capture, and then use the default settings that the JPEGs has in Olympus cameras, because it's really great. It is really colorful and really good. What will be the next telephoto lens Olympus will release? There was some long telephoto zoom lens in the lens chart that can be found. At least I think the Micro Four Third Rumors posted it in a couple of months ago, where there was a official Olympus roadmap for lenses, and there was one long zoom lens or long range zoom lens that might be introduced, but I have no real knowledge what would it be. What is my rarest Pokemon? I don't play Pokemon, so I don't have any. Could you make a video about developing OR files with Lightroom? There are a lot of do's about noise and image quality with OR files from Lightroom. Sergio Marcos wants me to do a tutorial on image editing, and I could do that actually. That could be a good idea. Thanks. I'll do that in the near future. SJ Aurora, you're welcome. Anders Stinson is asking the price for the 150 to 400 millimeters. No, I haven't heard any rumors of the price, but let's say that 300 millimeter f4 was 3,000 euros/dollars when it was introduced. So I think it's going to be more than that because it's a huge lens. It has a built-in 1.25 extender, and it's totally weather sealed, and it's quite big. So I think the price will be also quite high. Okay, I used the 40 to 150 millimeter and confused when to use the image stabilization. It's okay to leave it on all the time. Does it affect the image quality? Stephen Higgs is asking about the image stabilizer, and I think yes, you can have it on all the time. It won't affect, at least negatively, on your image quality. Vice versa, it will be a good thing for your image quality. So I think you should have it always on. It won't ruin your image quality at all. Oh, Jose de Leon, I really enjoy your collaboration with your friend Sulanto. Oh yeah, we have a lot of fun making videos together, and we actually sometimes will help each other filming also. I hope you, Jose, will also follow or subscribe to Matti Sulanto's channel. I have used Lightroom, and actually I used the Lightroom camera in, let's see who was the answer. It's going so fast. Fotolausen from Norway is asking if I like to use iPad Pro. I don't use it that much. I have one, but I don't use it that much for image editing images. But I use a Lightroom camera from my phone quite a bit. So that's my main camera in my phone. I use the Lightroom phone, and then I edit my photos that I've taken with my phone. So I think it's a good combo, and it could work on if you don't want to carry a laptop with you when you're on a trip and you have an iPad. But of course, the iPad isn't, the Pro version isn't really small either. So it's I don't know. It depends which you wanna use. Hello, Michigan. Thanks for regarding comparison. I'd like to. All right, from Vienna. Yeah, I think I should do the comparison, the workspace and Lightroom comparison about the image quality. It'll be really interesting. Yes, you're right. Do you have any knowledge tips on how to set up the target mode settings? What do you mean, Fred, by the target mode? I don't really understand right now. Maybe I'm missing something now. Will the current Lightrooms open Olympus RAW files? It will, yes. It will work with the Olympus RAW files, the ORF files. Which software do I use cutting my videos? I use Premiere Pro. I use Adobe Pro programs of software because I like the way they are connected with each other. I can jump between After Effects, Photoshop, Lightroom, just like that, and they work together really nicely. And then I use Audition to a bit tweak the audio, or actually the audio levels, and take some cracks out of the audio and some mistakes that I make. Nick Wilson is asking me if I have used the 150 to 400 millimeter. No, I haven't. I don't think it exists yet. Ignacio Rimola asked if and thanks for the comment. Yes, really appreciate it. Would you recommend the Sigma 56 1.4 over the Olympus 45 1.8? I have not tested the Sigma 56 1.4. I did test the 30mm Sigma lens in the spring, and it turned out to be a really good lens. But to be honest, I really cannot say if I can. Let's see what's going on here. Okay, let's turn that off. So I have used the 45mm Olympus lens, the f1.8, and also the 1.2. But to be honest, I cannot really say which one is better. All I can say that Sigma makes really good lenses, but so does Olympus. But it's really hard to say. They both have probably advantages. The Olympus lens is a bit more traditional focal length for portraits, but then, excuse me, Sigma lens is a bit faster. So it's a close call. Sorry, another question. No excuses. You can ask as many questions as you want, Maurizio. Do you know if we have chance to see another wide angle on the Pro line? I hope we do. I don't know if we will, but I would definitely want to have a 12mm f 1.2 lens. Now there's only one 12mm prime lens. It's the f2 version. But it would be great to have the 1.2 version on that lens. And now we're 91 people. This is great. I think this is 90. Somebody just left, but 90 people is a great amount. We've been online for 26 minutes. And I want to tell you that I just today set up a Facebook group for my subscribers, or actually you don't have to be a subscriber. It's going to be a closed group. And I will post a link to that right there in the chat box. So if you want to join the group, the group is more of for you guys to ask questions between the live shows and maybe show some images, and I will post my video links there so you can comment the videos also there. But just copy the link, and then after the live show I will accept everybody in, and let's start discussing in Facebook group also about Olympus and photography. All right, great, Jose, that you subscribe to Solanto too. That's really great. Let's see. Let's go back a bit. I need to. Oh, in Sergio Marco says in Spain, a lot of Olympus photographers are moving to Capture 1, leaving Lightroom because of the noise treatment in OR files, even at low ISOs. Oh, that's interesting. I really need to check out the Capture 1, and if it does better work, then maybe I will switch also. Thanks for the info, Sergio. That's really appreciated. Can we use joystick? No, I noticed that after flashing, points of focus areas can be moved almost like a joystick, not discreetly. Yeah, it works a bit better. You're right. And then Peter Ross says he has the Leica Macro 45mm by Lumix that he just bought. When I use it on the Olympus, or should I turn off the stabilizer on the lens? I think you should try. If it has, then check how the body image stabilizer or the IBIS is affected by turning the image stabilizer from the lens off. You should see and test if it turns off also the IBIS from the body, then don't turn it off. Then you have to turn it off from the camera. So, but that's always a bit tricky, even though they have the same mount, the Micro Four Thirds mount. The image stabilizer technology is a bit different from Olympus and Panasonic. So there's always a what's the word? There's always some contradiction. I think was that the word, that it might not work properly. So you have to test it. And let's see. Tobias Schegel is also talking about the Capture 1. No, I for now I use Lightroom, but there's been quite a few comments about Capture 1. I really need to test that and make a comparison. Maybe I'm gonna do a video about that. Let's see. John Holbrook is asking about the common explosion on the 40 to 150 milli lens hood. Yes, I have, and Olympus fixed it. So now I have my second lens hood. Jens Blix, thank you for your comment about the channel. Really appreciate it. Is there any documentation about the CAF sensitivity with the new firmware 3.1? Not really officially, but it's something that you need to test because you can actually set the sensitivity from the menu. And that all depends on how fast the thing is moving that you're photographing. The faster, the more sensitive it has to be. And then when you have a slower movement, you lower the sensitivity, and it will be, of course, the slower sensitivity, it will be better for slower movement. And also it will not attract or start focusing something moves across the image. It won't grab the cross moving thing that easily. So that's something that really need to be tested. And John Allen, is it now? Yes, it is. Björn Erik, so yeah, you're welcome. And there's a follow-up. Try to expose to the left actually instead of to the right, and maybe it leaves shadows with auto thoughts. Well, Björn, the problem with that is that you will lose some detail in the shadows if you start lifting them up too much. I would go and expose it to the right, and then make the image a bit darker. You will get a better image quality. It's the way the digital sensor is capturing the light. It has more information in the brighter side of the histogram. So on the right side, and there are less info in the left side in the blacks. So that's why I would not do that, because that you will lose some image quality. If you were pick one great feature from 3.0 firmware upgrade on your what would it be? I don't know. I don't think there was anything that the M1X did not have already, or was there? Do I remember that correctly? But I don't think there is anything. For someone, do you recommend using legacy 4/3 lenses, especially for 2 versions? Yeah, no problem with using those lenses. And of course, the legacy lenses, if you have a adapter, then no problem with that. Just go ahead. Of course, the AF might be a bit slower, but if you're doing travel photography, landscapes, no problem with that. Totally great way of using lenses. Oops. Is Capture 1 the Olympus software? No, Capture 1 is not Olympus software. Olympus has a software called Workspace. Olympus Workspace is the software from Olympus, but I use Lightroom. All right, goodbye for FF. All right, thanks Funjiman again for answering questions. This is really great. Yeah, Thomas is talking about the megapixels, and exactly 20 megapixel is for me totally enough, because as I said earlier in this live show, that I deliver most of my images digitally, so there is no need for more megapixels. And then if I need to, like I sometimes do some product shots that might be used a bigger, not prints, but bigger, then I might use the high res mode. Tobias Schlegel, hi. And somebody is from Bavaria, Passau. Erika Silver from Brazil. All right, then Augusto Mora has a question. I read it again here. Hi Peter, what do you choose between a LED ring right or flash setup for portraits? I'm using Capture One too. All right, Capture One is there's a lot of Capture One people around. I really need to check that software out. I don't really use a ring light because I don't like the way it lightens the portrait. I know it's a style and a lot of people are using it, and there's nothing wrong. This is only my personal view at that. I more or less like to use other ways and to have it, up there, just a soft box, not too big, but a soft box anyways. And somehow I just don't really like ring lights. Okay, Stefan Manson wants to know what are the options if you need to tether and make images straight to your computer. The easiest way is to use Olympus Capture. It's called, let me check if Olympus Capture is the software name. So wait a minute. Yeah, Olympus Capture is the name of the software, and then you hook up your computer on your the camera with the USB cable to your computer, and then you can control the camera from the computer, and then the images will transfer via USB straight to your hard drive. And I would say that would be probably the best way. And that's a really nice because you have a nice and big viewfinder because you can live view the image on your computer, and that's if you do something, let's say like what do you call these product shots and things like that, then that would be a really handy way to do it. Yeah, John Holbut, Capture One is is a software from Phase One, and it's a Danish software. Olympus Workspace is a very good noise-wise. Turn off noise to like sharpness. All right, that's good. That's good advice. Thanks, Thomas. Will there be GPS in future mirrorless level camera bodies? Oh, mid-level. Sorry. I don't know. I hope they have, because the EM1X has the GPS built in. Other Olympus cameras needs to have the OI Share or OI Track app on, and that is something that that has to be on, and then you have to transfer the GPS data to your files metadata by connecting the phone to your camera. Man, it's a good way, and I use it quite a lot because that's the best way to find your images. If somebody asks me an image of some place, and then if it has the GPS coordinate, it's easy from Lightroom to find it. So that's why I use it quite a lot. What do you? I have Olympus E1 and control it through Olympus Studio 2.0. What to use when I use my pen EP2? I think it's Olympus Capture. You should try. I don't know if it's if it will be compatible with EP2. I really don't know about that. Yeah, Sergio Marcos, it's the Olympus Capture, and it's free. You're right. There might be, if Pentax ever decides, yeah, that's going to be interesting if Pentax is going to go back to mirrorless. We never know. They said that they won't, but you never know what happens. Andrew Stinson, do you prefer the EM1X or the EM1 Mark II? When do you use each? Well, they both are great cameras, and for my professional work, I mostly use EM1X. But if I go out and shoot for fun or do some own project, I like to use the EM1 Mark II, because then I usually walk around with, when I do my own project, and it's a lot lighter camera, and it's a bit easier in my hand. And then also, if which I do rarely use a very long lens, then I like to use the M1X because it's a bit more balanced. And but I like them both. They both have their advantages. Let's see, Mike. Oh, welcome, Mike. Thanks for being here. I have some Oly 4/3 gear and EP1 with 2 lenses. I like to and good Olympus system used. Would you ring ref? I would go with the micro 4/3 definitely. Okay, there are some strange comments about me being strange, and somebody wants to, do something bad to me. Please be nice. Let me just block this fellow. I will report this guy. All right, I will report. Let's see. All right. All right. Sorry about that. I had to delete and report a message. Have I tried the Panasonic G9? What do you think? Werewolf asks. Oh, no, I haven't. But I don't know if you have been following also a fellow YouTuber called Matti Sulanto. We made a video together when I was visiting his channel, and we compared the G9 to M1 Mark II. You might want to. I will write the channel down. And you go and let's see, Werewolf, go and find Matti Sulanto from YouTube, and then you can find that video from his channel. Yeah, Sergio Marcos, you're right. The Olympus Workspace is a great pro. I will say program. It's software, but it's a bit slow, and that's why it's not that convenient to use. But otherwise, it's a good program or software. Martin Bovra says that, hi Peter, great channel, lots of useful info. Thanks. Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you for the comment and following me. I am fully into Olympus now, going from Nikon FF, and would like to mention how good the Pro service is from Olympus and worth a mention. Yes, that's true. That's a good thing to bring up, that if you have some problems with your camera, at least in Europe, the what do you call the maintenance or the Pro service works really beautifully. DHL comes to your home or your office and picks up the camera and brings it back in a week, and they do marvelous job with. They clean up the whole thing, and if there's a new firmware, they will do that, and then they will repair the camera if there's something wrong with it. It's really a great service. And all right, Fungiman, thanks for answering again. Garen Wood, thank you very much for your comment. Really appreciate it. I'm glad you're learning. What have you learned? What is the thing that you have learned last? Is that the word? Yeah. What's the thing that you have learned last? John Roberts says that when Olympus comes out with a new camera, what consideration do you make whether to upgrade to a new camera body or not? Of course, if there is a new camera in the Pro line, I will upgrade most likely. And of course, it has to be justified that the camera can make better images, or I can get better images than I did with the previous camera, because of course I have to justify the cost. If there is no improvement or anything that I can do better, then it's actually no use. And the thing which is better, I don't know. It's something that, or it's hard to say in advance what I would like to have to make my images better, because usually to get better at photography is to do photography and learn photography and not buy new gear. But sometimes, of course, the new gear is something that you need if the image quality is better, or the handling is better, or it makes the things that you want to photograph easier, then of course it's a no-brainer. John Roberts, thank you from Oregon. Thanks. Jim Jones has, let's see, he has a question. I have a lot of trouble focusing at night, for example, trying to do shots on the sky stars. I don't have any of the pro lenses yet. How can I set focus? Well, what you should do when focusing or making images of the night sky, the manual focus is the way to do. And what you should do is to turn on two things in the camera: focus peaking and the magnification. Then when you start manual focusing, the LCD on the back will show a magnified image of the scene, and then try to find as bright a star as you can, and try to make that star really sharp. Then you have the whole sky sharp. That's the way to do it. Oh right, yeah, but it's hard to focus at night. It requires some skills and some training, but it's not that hard. And it's a lot of fun to do the skies. Have you tried the live comp on your images of stars to do star trails? You should try that. That's really interesting. No, Bragg, you found me last night. What was the video that you found me? Or what video did you watch when you found me? That's really interesting. Thanks for being here and welcome to my channel. Let's see. Chopin LVR is telling me that he's coming from a Nikon D7000. Could you tell me settings for the image stabilization you would recommend? I would use the. I don't remember but I would use the full image stabilizer so that it will detect the movement from the camera, because you can set it so that it only horizontal or vertical. But I would use the one that uses all the different directions. That's the basic setting. But of course, if you do some panning, then you should only stabilize for the vertical. Yes, that's so. Yeah, for the vertical direction. And which telezoom? Ola Asteman is asking which telezooms would I recommend for micro four thirds in various price ranges. It depends if you want only a tele. Well, that's what it says. Yeah, telezoom. Sorry, it's of course you have the 75 to 300 millimeter, and then there is the 12 to 200 millimeter is the next one, and then there is the 40 to 150 millimeter. Those three, and the first one is really good. It goes from 75 to 300 millimeters, but then the 12 to 200 millimeter has one advantage over that. The 12 to 200 millimeter is weather sealed, which is a big thing. And then you have the 40 to 150 millimeter, which is a pro grade lens, which is of course the best but most expensive option also. But it depends on your budget. All those three lenses will do the job for you. All right, let's see. Thomas E is saying, thanks for your time, Peter. You're welcome. Last comment on choose cheaper processors fittings. I actually use it for my assignments. Library photo mechanic. Yeah, that's a good. Thomas E had some good tips on the image or digital asset management thing. Werewolf is asking, yes, you have the gene. You are well. As I said, you might want to watch that video from Matti Sulanto's channel where we compared the G9 and the M1 version, or actually version 2. And yeah, the G9, it's a good camera. The M1 Mark II is very similar camera, but check out that video and it might help you to decide. Would you be able to expound on the firmware, the low processing settings? Well, the low ISO settings, I would put or turn on the detail. What do you call it? Detail processing. So it will concentrate on the details, and it will slow down a bit, but not much. And then when using the low ISO, it's makes your image quality a bit better because it has less noise, but you will lose some of the dynamic range. So there is always a downside on that. But set the detail priority on the processing of the images. I think that works better. Oh, my audio is somebody else saying that sound is bad. Okay, that's Mike. Sorry about that. I don't know. Is anybody else have any troubles? Oh, right, audio is okay now. Oh, yeah, good thing. Because it's always because I don't have the headphones. I probably would look ridiculous in the headphones. I can't be sure. And then the when I see the picture, it's a bit behind. There's a bit what do you call it? Lag. When I talk here, I can see a picture that it's 2 seconds behind. So the audio would be really disturbing in my ears. So that's why it's good if there's any trouble or problems with the audio, please let me know. And now I want to remind you that I set it up a Facebook group, a closed group for my subscribers. So I will post the link in the chat box here. And please, if you like to continue talk about photography and post some images, maybe, please sign up for the group, and I will accept you after this live chat, this live what do you call it? Let's live show. And let's continue talk there in the future. Also, it doesn't mean that I will still do these live videos, of course. Let's see. I need to. There is some. Problems with the comments again. Sorry about the bit delay. I had to block someone for talking some really crazy stuff. Sorry about that. Let's see. They're talking about the night focus. Yeah, there are some good advice from the audience. Really great. Let's see. Have Iren Darkiron, if I have heard any info about the new firmware for the M1 M10 Mark III. No, it was not covered. There was no new firmware. I think the last one is from the spring, but that was more or less a bug fix and some compatibility issues with Leica lenses, I think. All right, Orbun is always hard to say. Orkun Bikakshi is, well, thank you for your comment about the channel. I get some more water here. Great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. All right. Sorry about that. I got some refill for my water. That was really appreciated. There are some questions here. Let's go back. Okay. Let's say to John Roberts first. I'll come back to you, Orkun, in a second. John Roberts asked if I use electronic shutter that much. I do when I need some silent shooting. If there is something that needs to be done in total silence, then I will use it. And sometimes when I need really, really fast shutter speed, because it goes a bit faster with the electronic shutter, then I will use it, yes. All right, then, Orkun, I come back to you. Talk about camera. He wants to buy a camera. An M5 Mark III is on the way. Yeah, that's what the rumors say. I have no knowledge of the camera, but most likely it will be the next OMD camera that will be upgraded. And we have actually 104 people here now. This is great. I think this is the record for my live views, or the live views for the for the live shows to have 100 people at the same time. This is great. We're making a new record on my channel. This is cool. Yes, let's go for a semi-pro. Would I need for EM3 or need to buy? Well, it depends on how fast you need your camera, because we don't know when the EM1 or the EM5 Mark III is coming. It all depends on that, and we do not know what the specs will be. So in that case, it's hard to say. If you need your camera right now, then you need to get the M1 Mark II. If that was the other option. But if you have time to wait, then you might want to see what the features are in the EM5 Mark III or the possible EM5 Mark III. That's this what the rumors says that it is coming, and I believe the rumors. I have no knowledge about that, but I believe the rumors. What are these things? Let's see. Sorry about there's somebody's again writing some nasty things, so I have to block them and report those. Oh my man, these things. I had to hide these messages. Oh no. Now this is going to be annoying. Sorry, this. Let's report this fellow. All right, let's see. Oh no, this is getting to be. I don't know where these bullies come from. Oh, this is. No, actually, not that much. There was in a couple of streams ago. There were some people that were harassing. This is going to be really annoying. And sorry about it, because it's I need to block those. Yeah, I think I need I sure do need a next time I need to. No, I will. Oh, this is going to be totally. Next time I need a moderator. Oh no, look at this. I don't believe this. I need to block so many. Where does this hate come from? This is not nice at all. This is distracting the whole thing that I don't know what happened here. Who is this? Okay, let's see. All right, this is all my time goes to hide these nasty comments. Is there a lens extender available for the M1 Mark II? Yes, there is actually. It's a you have MC20 and you have then you have the MC14 and MC20. The MC14 is 1.4, and then the MC20 is a double. And Bitcoin Brian Peter's a good man. Yes, I'm not. And Godzilla Wanker, yes, please stop. You that's nonsense. I'm gonna hide you anyways. And Adam Favre, yeah, well, actually, it was I had a busy weekend. I had a lot of family at my house, and my wife is on a vacation, so I did not actually have time to make a proper video. So I thought that live show could be good because I haven't done a live show in almost 2 months. So now my time goes to blocking these people that are harassing me, which is kind of crazy. This is the downside on the live show when people are harassing. And if you have any questions about, yes, I will. Yeah, I will. I will assign some moderator next times. Yeah, I have to. I'm not gonna give any attention. I just have to block them. The stuff from you're doing, I won't stop doing. I will do, and let's see what we can do. I will figure out the next time for next time that I will have a moderator and maybe I start blocking some words or something like that. I have to figure it out. Adam Favre is asking if I have a definite answer for using IBIS when using a tripod, and I really don't turn it off because it should the tripod should what do you call it, recognize. So I would not I'm reporting. Yes, I am reporting them all the time. Yeah, I will report all these trolls. This is oh yeah. Oh no. Yeah, I will. What I'm doing here, I'm reporting this. And let's see what happens if we can yeah. It's funny how some of your messages goes for review, but not not this all right. Yeah, it's totally a bad thing that these people are harassing. Let's see if we can remove these messages there. I'll hide the report and hide. Let's see. Yeah, now it works better. Oh, there's probably a bunch of that are a big group that are using and then harassing my live show here. I need to do something about this for the next time. Yeah, they are really attention-seeking lunatics. I know. But if you have any more questions, then I will happy to answer you. There's still over 100 people online, and please ask some questions. And there is also a Facebook group that I set up for discussing, and there's the link for that. And how often do you have to clean your sensor? Do you wait until you have to bring the image? Actually, Andrew, I do not have to clean my sensor that often. I haven't done it at all. I've used 5 years my OMD cameras, and 1 or 2 cameras have been in for repairs, and but then they clean the sensor. But otherwise, I haven't really needed to use that at all. And in that sense, the sensor cleaning works really well. Yeah, Olympus Compa extension tube. I hope they will, Inge Martin. I hope they will have extension tubes, but you can buy third-party extension tubes for Micro Four Thirds that work really nice. You can even have the electronic ones. So in that sense, it works really nice. Does using the lens on a camera become more difficult when you use a lens for your glasses? No, I didn't. Soviet people, yeah, I know. Have you tried lens adapter with classic manual focus lenses? Werewolf is asking. Yes, I have, and there was a couple of videos about that from last summer. You might want to search them from YouTube. You probably, if you ask, Olympus manual focus, Olympus adapters, then you might find my videos and check those out. It's really good to have the ability to use the older lenses. It's really good. Let's see. Ola Asteman asked, which system did I use before? I had Canon system, and the biggest reason was the form factor and which means the smaller size, but I could still have the good image quality. And of course, at that time, it was the one good option to go mirrorless. That was maybe the biggest reason, because I think mirrorless is the future, and the old DSLR is just old technology. And I just love what do you call the EVF, because it actually, EVF shows the image the way the camera sees it, and the DSLR shows the image that your eye sees it, but it's still the way the camera sees it is the way it will capture the image. So that's why that was the biggest reason. And let's see, which feature would you most likely to see in the M5 III? Well, good video qualities would be good for me. And then some of the qualities or the features from M1X, which first one is, of course, the My Menu system. And then maybe a bit better image stabilizer could be good. And then something that will surprise all of us. I don't know what that could be. Let's see. Telecons. Can you clarify what lenses the teleconverters work with? They work with a lot more lenses than I thought. Actually, the Olympus teleconverters work only with the 40 to 150 millimeter lens, 300 millimeter f4, and then the announced 150 to 400 millimeter lens. So there are three lenses. It's hard. There's three fingers, three lenses that work with the teleconverters. Do I think they will have a? Do you think they will be having improvements of the viewfinder on the next OM? I hope they will. The EM1X has a very good viewfinder. Oh gosh. What are they doing? Oh, there is some. Well, sorry about that. I had to block someone here again. Do you think we will have improvement? Yes. And what they should do is to put more pixels in the viewfinder. The EM1X has a very good viewfinder. It's 120 frames per second and a progressive, and that is a really good viewfinder. But of course, if they could put the same specs but a bit more megapixels in the viewfinder, then it would be even better. Let's see. Yeah, Funjiman, you're exactly correct with the what do you call the extender. Kathleen Hickey, hi from Colorado. Maloko Rep says that Olympus has big announcement coming in August. I think it's maybe. I don't have actually a video about night photography. That's a good idea. I should make that. And yeah, there are rumors about the EM5 Mark III that it will be launched in August. But to be honest, I don't know yet. Nobody has told me. Yeah, John Toregundes, and that was a good tip. Yes, Kathleen, I understood. Autocorrect is horrifying. I have to report these. There's a lot of reports to read for YouTube after this. Probably not the only one. All right. The VVASIX asked if the highlight and shadow clipping shows in the manual mode. Yeah, you should press the info button to toggle if you can't see it. Andrew Stinson is asking if I do a lot of exposure blending when I do my landscapes. Sometimes I do, because the what do you call the dynamic range on the landscape is so big that you just have to do that. And yes, it's a good way, and it usually is a lot easier to do if you have your camera on a tripod, and then it's a lot easier. AI tracking for large birds coming. Well, don't know, but they have said that they are improving the artificial intelligence for the AF in EM1X. So I hope it will, because it can do planes now, and that is an implication that if they have told the camera what a plane looks like, and that will probably lead to big birds. Do you keep your histogram settings 220 and 1, or do you have? I have changed them a bit. I think I have 253 now, and then I have 2 on the black side. So there is a bit more room in the exposure, but it depends on where you use your or want to use your images. If it's only online, then 255 is totally fine. But then you don't have any, or actually have a bit, because that's the info from the raw I mean the JPEG image and the histogram info. So you have half a stop, one stop more in the bright side anyway. So 255 is fine. All right, there's still 94 people. There's been a lot of people around. And a lot of abuse also, not the ones that have been asking really good questions. And there was somebody, let's go back. I need to go back. Somebody's wanted to answer. And well, I can't find it now. But if there's somebody's not getting answers, please. And good evening, Peter. Yeah, good evening, William. I have the 300mm Pro and on the lenses as well. If you turn it off the lens, don't turn it off, because then it won't have an IBIS either. It will turn off the image stabilizer completely from the camera, and you don't want to do that. Yeah, I know EM1X should have 60p, and I hope they will have it via firmware. I think it could be. Roman asked if I use the HDR capabilities. Not really that much. Sometimes I have done it, but I usually do it manually. I want to and that's usually when I make images of, let's say that interiors or landscapes. Then I usually do it manually, and then and not use the automatic HDR. But it's a handy tool, so it's fast and easy to use. So in that sense, it's not bad thing to do or use it. Werewolf thinks that he says that I think Pen F was missed opportunity. Do you think there will be a new premium pen camera with PDA and weather sealing? I hope so, because I personally don't have Pen F. I really don't need it, so I've never really gotten it. I've used it a couple of times, and it's a marvelous camera. It's one of the best cameras in digital world for street photography, and there's one big reason for that. And the one reason is that the EVF on the Pen F is on the side here in the corner, and then when you look into the viewfinder, you have your other eye to see, so you can see from the other eye that the camera is not blocking your vision, and that's why it's a marvelous camera. And I really hope that they will make a similar camera. Stefan Morris, does Olympus ask your advice on upgrades or firmware updates, and have they ever listened to you? Yeah, they do ask, and to say that not really. I haven't really, don't remember anything that I have said that had been done. Not really sure. No, they've been listening, but I don't know if they have any. And of course, if it's only one person that says it, they won't do it. But if there are more than bigger crowd that will suggest some feature, then of course they might do that. Yeah, William, you're welcome. Sergio Marcos is asking if there is any luminance noise reduction in Lightroom. I usually have it around 25, and then closer to 50 if I use really, really high ISOs. But that all depends on the image, that you have to a little bit tweak it, because if there are a lot of details, then you might not want to do too much luminance noise reduction. You will ruin the the details. But otherwise, just try it, and between 25 and 50 for the higher ISOs. And then sometimes when I use low ISOs, I leave it at 0. So it depends a bit. Oh, you're welcome, Romain. Please read my nick, says, that's a hard one. Sorry. Zujupak 45. Was that even close? What's the difference between an Olympus Visionary and an Olympus Trailblazer? I don't know, actually, because the Trailblazers, they're all from the States. But I really don't know. I have to say that I don't know. We don't have any Trailblazers in Europe, so I don't know, to be honest. That's something I had to figure out. All right. William Matthews has one question about lenses. He has the 60mm macro lens loaded. Do I need to put it in the limb? I'm struggling with macro. Switch is spring loaded to go through one. Yes, you need to push it to your limits. It's a bit tricky, but you just have to push it all the way to one to one. All right, I got it right. Nice, Zuzupak 45. We have this. I don't know where these bullies or crazy people come from. It's totally crazy. All right, we still have over 100 people. This is probably the biggest live stream I've ever had, and also the biggest one that had these bullies. I hope they will go away for the next time, and I will have somebody moderate for my what do you call the live chat feed. But I have to figure out how to do that. But I usually been here for an hour and a half, so we still have about 10 minutes. And if you have some more questions, please ask them. And well, you're welcome, Maurizio. And if you didn't see this yet, I have a Facebook group that from that link, or copy it, or I don't know if you can click that link straight and go to the Facebook group and try to get in. I will accept your membership after this live stream, and then we can start discussing over there also about photography. But remember that we have a bit of a different time zone. It's almost midnight here in Finland already, so I might not be answering tonight anymore, because this, doing an hour and a half live stream is it's a day's work actually. Hot in New York today. Are you suffering through a heat wave? Yes, we did actually. We made on Sunday we had a record heat wave in ever that's been in Helsinki. It was 33.2 degrees in Celsius. I don't know what's that in Fahrenheit, but 33 degrees over in Helsinki. It was pretty hot. Now today it was cool and nice. Victor Bastos is asking about the high resolution mode. Well, not really any special tips on how to edit that or post-process. It's about, the same thing as a regular image. But sometimes if there is some moving subject, you might want to retouch the moving subject away or some parts of it so it doesn't look that strange. But otherwise, it's okay to or exactly the same way as you would do in any regular images. John Roberts asked me, how do you balance shooting both video and still photography? Do you have to carry more lenses? Can one lens work for both? Well, if you do both, I recommend having two different cameras. That's what I usually do. But sometimes when you have to do it, then I will put on the 12 to 100 millimeter f4 lens. That's a very versatile lens. But of course, it's f4. And if it's really dark conditions, then I might use a faster prime lens. But otherwise, it's good. But it's a hard thing to do at the same time, to do photography and video at the same time. So I usually, if I have a gig that I have to do both, I allocate the time for it. Okay, this time is for still photography, and this is for video. So I won't mix them. But of course, it doesn't work all the time, because you need to have images and video of the same thing. But it's a bit hard. But I would say that the 12 to 100 millimeter is perfect for that. All right, Werewolf. We'll see you in Facebook. Great. Konstantin Aksenov asked me if I used a built-in teleconverter to shoot 180p video and in 1.2. I've never tested that. No. I usually shoot in 4K so that I can crop the image in post if I need to. But that's something I have to test. That's an interesting thing. Thanks for bringing that up. Macro, I was shooting the room. Would it focus at and start? Yeah, William Matthews is asking about the focus stacking, and that is a lot of work to figure out how it works the best. The only answer is that you just have to try it with the ruler and see how much the differences are. But I've sometimes tried to figure it out, but it always varies. If the focusing distance varies, you have a different focal length, and it's really hard. It has to be done a lot to get the experience on it. I have not gotten a really straight answer what the differences are between the big, where you can what do you call, the adjust the different levels on how fast, or not how fast, but how far it will go after the first when it's focusing, and then it comes back. Yeah, you have to experiment. That's probably the best way. Andrew Stinson asking if I have used any MFT tilt shift lenses. No, I haven't actually, and I did use when I used other gear, so I have a knowledge of how it works, but I haven't really used any of those. Well, Pinnacle Pete, I caught this live stream by accident. Well, actually, good thing. Glad you're here. But usually I post it about 12 hours before on my YouTube channel, and then I have a newsletter where I advertise it, and then sometimes on the community, I make a community post about it. But this time, what happened is that for some reason, my live stream did not show up in my YouTube channel at all. So this is actually not the original live stream that I set up 12 hours ago. It's actually 14 hours ago almost when I did that. And so this one is a bit different, but I'm glad that you found it, and so many other people also found it. What is a good starting point for star trails with live compa? Well, if you have a fast lens, and then you should have about a second and a half. That's a good start on a dark night sky. And about ISO would be maybe 800 on that. That's just a rough. But what you should do is you should try it and make an experiment, make a 5-minute and see how it goes, and try some images before that. And then one good thing is about if you're in the northern hemisphere, then try to have the north star somewhere in the picture. Then it makes a nice round ones, because if you go to the west or east, then you will have straight lines, which might not look that nice. But it depends on what's in the foreground. But it's a really, really, really great way of making star trails is using live comp. And then Chopin LVR asks, how long have you been? How long I've been shooting with Olympus cameras? Well, this September, 5 years. It was after Photokina when I decided that now it's the time. It was actually the time when the 40 to 150 millimeter lens was introduced, because that was the focal length that I used the most at that time with other gear. Andres Hamar, do I have a link to a newsletter? Go to I'll write the URL to my blog. Wait a minute, I can't spell. There you go. If you go there, there will be a place where you can what do you call it? Subscribe to it. And it's a bit strange link, because originally my blog was in Finnish, and then I started doing YouTube content in English. But I still had the URL in Finnish, so it's still there. I need to do something about that. Jay Hodges, you're moving to full frame. Do you reasons why. No problem with that, of course, but interesting to hear why. And I'm glad you have learned a lot of things. And please come back and watch my videos again. There will be about photography. But then the question, OMD 10 Mark II shutter count. I have to say that I don't know. I will figure that out. Oops, excuse me. And I will figure that out. I'll write that down. Wait a minute. I have a piece of paper and a pen somewhere. There it is. And I will. And if there's anybody who knows, please let me know. And let Jay Hodges know also. All right, we're still 90 people here. This is a record night for my live shows. I'm really appreciate it for your questions, and I'm sorry about the trolls and the harassment that there was in about like 30 minutes ago. I'm glad they're gone now. I'm glad they're gone. And HRM, do you have plans for next shooting trip abroad? Yes, actually, I'm going to Estonia, to Saaremaa Island, Kuressaare city, on Thursday. I will be there for 4 days and be doing couple of videos and some cityscapes. It's not a big city, but some cityscapes over there. It's going to be really interesting. Going with my wife and a bunch of friends, so we'll have a good time. But I will have some time because they want to do their things and I go do my photography thing. So yes, I have plans. And John Buttonworth is asking what I think that Olympus will change in the EM5 Mark III. I really don't know. I hope they will have the feature called My Menu there, which will make the menu system a bit easier. And I wish they had 4K 60p on that one, and then OM log 400, and maybe a 20 megapixel sensor and a better processor maybe. And then of course it would be nice if they had some surprise for all of us, some feature that nobody would kind of like think of. That would be really great, but I don't know what that is. Yeah, it's Pinnacle Pete. I don't know what that was. It was a big attack. I don't know what it was. All right. Google OMD shutter count and the info from Apple should suffice. All right, cool. That's a great thing. That's a good advice. Thanks, Funchiman, again. You've been very helpful on these live streams. And it's been, hour and a half, 1:33. Maybe we will. Let's see. What's my biggest or longest stream was? It was hour and 40 minutes. No, hour and 38 minutes. So I'll be here for 10 more minutes. So I will make a record also on that sense, because I think this has been the biggest crowd ever on my live stream. So thank you everybody who's been here and asking questions. But I will be hanging around for 10 minutes. 10 minutes, so I can make a record on that length too. And of course, if there are questions, I will stay longer than that. But I will be here at least for 10 more minutes. And if there are any questions, please just ask. There are still 87 people around. This is huge. And the funny thing is actually the record and the first stream didn't work out. So this is actually the second stream, and I couldn't advertise actually this stream. It was the stream that didn't work. All right, let's see. John Roberts, does living in Finland mean do you need some different kind of lens? You do need to be faster because of a longer low light. Yeah, that's and weather sealing is quite important here in Finland, because we have a lot of bad weather in the fall and the winter and in the spring. Summers are usually warm and nice nowadays, and that is something. And of course, in the wintertime we have low light, so faster lenses are appreciated in the dark conditions. And what questions would I like to answer? Any questions? Eugen Maynard, congratulations for Gotham. Thank you. Ian Phillips asks if there is a original firmware for EM1. I don't think there is. I think it's 4.0 is the latest one, and but I don't think there has been a new firmware, and I probably would say that there won't be any. Maybe some, if there are any bug fixes or any new lenses that need some kind of a firmware update also with the camera, then there might be, but I don't think they will introduce any new features for EM1, unfortunately. And Stephen Hicks says that if I could do a video, what settings you set on C1, C2, and C3 presets? Yeah, I'll write that down. That's a good idea, and it varies a bit what I have there, but that's a good idea for a video. Thanks, Stephen. Johannes Buttenberg, did you ever try to take pictures of birds? I very seldom actually do, but now I have two videos. I made two videos. One was about 40 to 150 millimeter lens, and the other one was about the 300 millimeters, which I just happened to get for a short time to test. And I went downtown Helsinki and made some photography of the city birds. And you might want to watch those two videos and see what kind of images I made of the birds in the city. But otherwise, I haven't done that much bird photography. What rangefinder for third cameras are currently available? Asks David Sir. To be honest, I don't know. I don't know if Pen F is, if you are talking about micro four thirds. I think it's Pen F might be the only one, if that considered to be a rangefinder. In a way, it is, but on the other hand, it's not. I don't really know. HRM, there are many books on your bookshelf. Do you have a recommended photo book? Well, I have a lot of recommendations, and it depends on what kind of photography you like. And do you have any photographer you really like, or image type? It depends on that. It's really hard to say. And yes, I do have quite a few books. I haven't really, in the past year, I haven't bought really that many books. I used to buy them a lot more back in the days, but not really that much anymore. John Roberts, yeah, you're welcome. Yeah, I was a big fight against the trolls, but I'm glad they've gone now. Videos, Iron Bolton, can you do a video setting on tracking? Yes, that's actually on my list already. Just when got the time to, because that needs some scientific testing, and it takes a bit time. And do you think LG is asking me, do you think they might update, refresh the 45 millimeter f1.8 and the 17 millimeter? No knowledge of that, of new lenses or anything what happens in August, or if anything even happens in August, I don't know. But I agree, weather sealing would be nice. That would be really great, and I think they should upgrade those lenses or refresh them and make them, make them new. That would be really nice. Okay, Fabian Stahl, what would be your main criticism on M4 from a technical perspective versus full frame or other format? Well, I don't know about the technical, but of course, you when you have a smaller sensor, you give some advantage to the full frame sensor in noise wise, and also in let's say we have the 300 millimeter f4, which is actually a 600 millimeter f8 if we talk about the depth of field, and that's probably the biggest downside that micro four thirds has. But of course, it has its own advantages, and that's why I'm using it. And it's a different system, for example, and it's a lot smaller, and it's for a bit different purposes. But otherwise, and I don't know. I don't really know any other really technical disadvantages over or compared to full frame. Yes, Vasik, the firmware 3.0 was only a bug fix. There were some bugs with the EVF, I think, with the 3.0. I still had the 3.0 and I haven't seen any problems with that, but of course I will have the 3.1 in when I have time to upgrade it. Andreas Hammer, yeah, GM5, yeah, right. I don't know if it counts as it's. I think they talk about the viewfinder type or like camera, which is not by definition. I think it's not one, but it's pretty close. We're still 83 people and questions are coming up, and we've been here 1 hour and 40 minutes. This is a new record. Woohoo! We just broke the record. Yes, by 2 minutes, almost 3 minutes now. Well, Roman asked what the aperture. I would stop it down to maybe 3.54, somewhere around there would be the best. And let's see. Yeah, good answer. Thanks, Aksenov, Konstantin, sorry. Noticed, wait a minute, I need to go back. Flickering, Vasik, flickering in the EVF. I think that's what it was. Yes. William Matthews, he says that he has an image in this month's Olympus magazine 64 without your video help on how to correct the use. All right, great, thank you. Great news, Will. I need to get that magazine and check it out. This is good news. I really like these kind of things because that's exactly why I do these videos, that you guys get better at photography, and of course these live streams are great because people are sharing info with each other, and that's why also I have set up the Facebook group. And if there's anybody who hasn't seen this link, please go to that link and I will accept your membership on the Facebook group. It will be a closed group, so you can post images and get critiques of the images and things like that. So we'll see you there. But we're still 79 people, and I'm not going anywhere. HRM, who is Finland's most famous photographer? Is the photo book of Finnish photographers I should see? Well, I'll write a couple of them down. Sorry, I'm writing. And maybe you could start with these two, Pentti Sammanlahti and Arno Rafael Minkkinen. Well, Minkkinen lives in the States. He's actually teaching photography in the States, but he's really famous. And what's really great about Arno is that he has taken selfies since the 70s, but not the regular selfies of his face. He usually doesn't show his face on his pictures. But you should check him out. You can probably find some images online also. And then Pentti Sammanlahti is one of the greatest Finnish photographers, maybe the most famous and known photographer from Finland. And all right, William, I will check that magazine. It was Olympus magazine 64. Yeah, that's great. We'll see that. And thanks, Vasik. It's really good to hear that you enjoy the videos. And are there any more questions? Been here. I will be here answering the questions if you have them. If you don't, then I will wait for about 30 seconds. Then I will. And I will. All right, Adrian, information very limited in Japan, which, well, you're welcome. My favorite Japanese photographer is Daida Moriyama. He's great. And then of course the controversial photographer Araki is quite interesting, even though I don't like his images that much, but I like his let's say his boldness and his attitude, but not much of the images. But Daido Moriyama is great. And now it's 1 hour 45 minutes has been broken, and there's still 78 people here. Do you have any more questions? Oh, really? Really, Araki is your high school senior. Really, this is interesting. This is totally interesting. How was he? Was he, he's a bit strange. Sergio Marcos, when Peter in Spain? I don't know. I should come to Spain. I'm going to Portugal in October, I think in the mid-October. But I've been in Spain for a couple of times, and I was, but not planned yet. But of course, if there are a lot of people that want to see me in Spain, and I will come, no problem. Johannes Buttenver, have you ever been in Netherlands? Yes, I have. I just actually was there in, I think in the beginning of May. I was in Amsterdam for a so-called a long weekend. Yeah, thanks, Christina. There is a site of 100 of Finnish photographers. You're invited to know awesome places and photographers. Chopin LVR, have you ever been to USA and where? Well, yes, I have been many times. And actually, first time was in 1981 when I was an exchange student in New Hampshire. And after that, I've been at least 5 or 6 times in different places, mainly in California and New York. Those are the places. And then a couple of times, once in Chicago for a longer period of time. And been driving around in California and in New England quite a bit, and then also have made a bus trip cross country in the 80s. So yes, I've seen the country quite a. John Hodges, have you ever seen Father Christmas? Actually, I have, and there's a fun fact about Father Christmas is that my son, when he was 27, he was working in China as Santa Claus for 6 months. So yes, I've actually father of Santa. William John Leeson, yeah, you're welcome. Yes, I know the problem with the trolls. I think they I don't know what it was, kind of an attack, and I think they attack on different live streams as a group probably, and I reported them, most of them, and blocked them anyway. So I'm glad it's gone now, and I hope next time it won't be a problem. But I need to figure out the moderator thing for that. All right, but I think the question pace is slowing down. I think I will call it a night. It's almost midnight here in Finland, so let's see. Come to Michigan, check us out. Michigan Nut Photography, not me, but really good photographer that specializes in Michigan. That's interesting. Yeah, I will. I definitely will check out that. I need to hide someone again there, but yeah, I will. Thank you, John Ture. I will have a good night. Yes, but hey, thanks for everybody being here, and Romain, you're welcome. Thank you guys for being here, and we'll see you in my next video, and hopefully most of you will join my Facebook group, and we can discuss photography and Olympus gear between the streams also. But hey, thanks you. I will call it a night. Thank you. Bye. Bye for now, and thanks for watching.